Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 foundations. Now, over the years I have accumulated quite a few foundations. I don't know what was up with that little neck chirp. And let me just redo that. So over the years I've accumulated quite a few foundations. Let's say about 30 or 40 foundations to be fair. Yes, I know it's quite a lot for an average person, but I'm not an average person. So anyway, what I've done is I've chosen 5 of my favourite foundations and I'm going to tell you why I like those foundations. So before I talk to you about them individually, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background on my skin and what I prefer. So I have a very extremely annoying oily T-zone. So my forehead, my nose, my chin gets very oily to the point where within 15 minutes I'm probably shiny. Like I'm probably shiny right now. And my cheeks, they're normal, so they don't get dry. They might produce a little bit of oil, but not as much as around the sides of my nose. So I normally go towards oil-free foundations or more... Now I can't really say I go for matte because I pretty much wear any foundation that I think looks good. So foundations. So first of all, I've got... I think this one's actually my favourite out of all of them. This is my Lancome foundation, and this is Teint Idole Ultra 24 Hour. Now I'm a shade 10. Now I don't actually think any of my foundation shades are correct, but I see it as the time I've kind of contoured and highlighted, they end up looking the same as my skin tone regardless. So I try to go as close to my skin tone as possible. So I think number 10, but when I've seen the Lancome shades, I know I could get into a 10, 11, and I think from 12 onwards might be a little bit dark, but I've tried 11 before, but I've always gone back to number 10. So with this foundation, what I like about this foundation is it's full coverage, but it feels so thin, so you can't feel it on the skin. And I've not had any problems with this foundation, so it gives me amazing coverage. I think they have an amazing range of shades. Now it is a high-end foundation, so it's a lot of money, but I actually think it's worth the money. So I don't mind paying for it. Now it does say it's oil free. Yeah, it's an oil free foundation. It lasts all day. I think it looks amazing. Every time I wear this foundation I get tons of compliments. So my second foundation is by Dior, and it's Dior Skin Forever. Now my shade in this is 060. Now this foundation to me is semi-matte, so it's good coverage, amazing coverage. It still leaves a little bit of a sheen without looking oily, but this foundation is, I think, I don't know if it's my favourite one to be fair. No, it's my second favourite, yeah. I think they're pretty much going in order how I like them, but I actually really do like this foundation. I think it does leave a flawless finish. It's medium to full coverage, and again, you can't feel it. It doesn't feel heavy, and it's nice. And yes, it's expensive because it's Dior. So, what do I have next? More affordable foundation is the L'Oreal Foundation True Match. Now, they don't have a big range of shades in this one. My shade is Cappuccino N8. I'm Cappuccino in the UK. You can buy this from Superdrugs or Boots, any of your local drugstore. Now, I really do like this foundation. Foundation is, I'd say, full coverage as well. I think most of my foundations are pretty much full coverage, but not cakey. They're not cake coverage, should I say. Now, True Match is, again, it's really thin on the skin. You can't feel it, but it still leaves amazing coverage. It's not completely matte, it's semi-matte, just like the other foundations I use. So you might notice that all of the foundations I use aren't completely matte. And the reason why is because I find whenever I get a foundation or I wear a foundation that is completely matte, I tend to produce more oils. And because I have a very oily T-zone, I feel like when I'm trying to keep all that oil in, I'm producing more. So it doesn't really benefit me in any other way, in any way. And also my pores around my cheek area and nose, they're emphasised when my foundation is quite matte. And I'm the biggest powder fan on this earth. I just love powder. I'm willing to try any powder because I just prefer powdering. So, which is why you might notice that most of my foundations are semi-matte because I'm prepared to powder them anyway. So True Match is probably about $8.99, $6.99. I know it's under £10. Fantastic foundation. Another one from the drugstore is Revlon Photoready, and again, same shade, Cappuccino in 011. I like this foundation. Again, it gives you like a airbrush look. It's oil free. You can't feel it on the skin. Full coverage, long wear. My only trouble is with drugstore foundations is I find that the shades they have is so limited. They have probably about, I don't know, 2 shades for darker complexions, 2 or 3 if that, in both of these foundations. So there's not a lot, so you might find yourself having to mix them, but for the price, it's not bad, because if you have to mix them, at least you know for the price of 2 would be the price of 1, that would have cost you about £30, and it still might not be your colour, so I don't mind doing that. And I always tend to buy those drugstore foundations when there's 3 for 2 in Boots, because I want to be saving my money. Now the 5th one is my Smashbox Studio Skin. Now I don't really think this foundation is recommended for my skin type, nor do I care, because I love it. It's oil free, so okay, I guess it is in some ways, but it does say 15-hour wear hydrating foundation. Now this is Studio Skin, I think I just said that. My shade is 4.1. I'm not sure if they've changed the shades of this foundation, because I remember when I was looking for it, the shades were completely different. So like a 7.1 for example was lighter than the 4.1, so I don't think it goes in that order of how, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being highest, but yeah, I'm not sure. But I do actually like this foundation. I'm actually wearing this one today. I think the colour's really good. It's very long wearing. Every time I wear this foundation I get compliments again. It's semi-matte. I think it has a bit more of a dewy finish compared to the rest of my foundations. High end, so not so affordable. And oh, just to let you know, all of the foundations that I've showed you have pumps, so I prefer that, because you haven't got to go out and buy a pump for like 5, 6, 7 quid, whatever they cost. But I feel like those foundations that don't come with a pump, they're just out there to take your money, so you can spend that extra money on that pump. So I'm not about that life. Now I'm going to be a little bit cheeky, because I know this is my top 5 foundations, but I'm just going to kind of insert my holy grail. And this is Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover Foundation. Now I get a lot of people asking me, do I not find this heavier than the Estee Lauder Double Wear? And the answer is no. Now I know this foundation is meant to, you know, help with to cover up tattoos, anything that you want to camouflage for face and body, because it's meant to be that high in coverage. But the consistency of it is so thin that I actually find it a lot more lightweight than the Estee Lauder Double Wear, so I prefer this one. I do want to love Double Wear, but I just don't really like the way it feels on my skin, and I find that that foundation breaks me out regardless anyway, so I don't want to give myself more spots or ruin my skin because of this foundation that I should wear. So I prefer to use this one, but the reason why I've snuck this in at the end is because I don't really use this as a foundation on its own. I pretty much use it before my foundation. So I wouldn't even say it's my going out routine. I pretty much use it every day. Now because I don't conceal any of my blemishes, I have darker pigmentation around my mouth and around my eyes. And I have a few, actually quite a lot, old acne scars. So what I do is I put this on before, which is almost like my concealer and my primer, my base, and then I put my foundation on top of this. And when I do that, I find myself using less product of my foundation because this has covered what I needed it to cover already. So this is my holy grail, and I am coming to the end, but I always have a backup of one of these just in case. My shade in this is 6W1 Sandlewood. Biggest advice, never colour match yourself. Never find the foundation and test it on the back of your hand. You always want to kind of get it on the skin or get it on your chest, because your hands are completely different to your face. As you can see, mine are completely different. Even if your neck is a little bit darker, you found that your face is darker or lighter, you always want to match closer to your face. Now I'm not saying if your neck is like 5 shades darker than you and your chest is 2 or 3 shades lighter than you to match your neck. You just want to kind of get as close as possible so you don't have that contrast, or you're going to find yourself taking your foundation all the way down to match your chest. And then everything you wear, let's be honest, you're going to get foundation all over it. You're going to get foundation over everybody else you touch. We've all been through those experiences when you hug someone and your foundation rubs off on them, and it's very, very embarrassing. But you want to be able to get your foundation close as possible. So yeah, those are my favourite foundations. If you want to see any of them in action, just let me know. But I pretty much will show you all of the foundations in action in most of my tutorials, which I will link down below what foundation I'm wearing so you can see. So any questions, any comments, just put it down below in that box down there. Feel free to ask me anything really, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye guys.